When life suddenly changes and you find yourself alone, it can feel scary, and sometimes you just want to feel connected again.
And a subscription service called Letters from Elizabeth hopes to provide comfort after a major life change. We're here with Sandra Morgan, co-founder of Letters from Elizabeth, to share more on this. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I just love this concept. Tell us about Letters from Elizabeth. It's so beautiful.
My business partner, about a year and a half ago, had a very big loss in her life, and a friend of hers at the same time, they're both very close to, had a huge loss in their life. And you know, as we all know, over the past 3 years or so, there's been a lot of grief and a lot of sorrow and a lot of loss. And so we sat one day and we were thinking to ourselves, how can we help, especially women? It seems like women shut themselves in and shut themselves off when things like this, when major grief happens in their life. And so we wanted to come up with a concept that would help these women without being very intrusive. And we're writers, and so we thought, and we saw these other letter subscription services, and we thought, wouldn't that be a unique concept?
Yeah. Why do you think it was key to not be intrusive? What's the point of that?
You know, when you go through major grief, and I'm talking about major grief, I'm not talking about, you know, light, whatever, I'm talking about major grief, the loss of a spouse, the loss of a parent, the loss of a child, things like that. When you go through those things, there are times, especially when you lose a spouse, that you want to just close yourself in. And people mean well when we are going through grief, but people actually really don't know how to handle grief, especially when it's not their own grief. And so they say things that they probably shouldn't say. You know, they say things like, you know, well, you just need to buck up and you need to, you know, get on with life and things like that. Well, when you're going through major grief like that, those are things that you don't want to hear.
So the intent is nice, but it's not helpful.
The intent is nice, yeah, but it's not helpful. And what we really need to be saying to these people, honestly, is how are you today?
Yes.
How are you this hour? How are you this minute? Because it changes when you're in that deep of grief, it changes. And we need to understand when we're going through grief that it's okay to not be okay.
Oh, that's so powerful. Can I read just a little bit of some of this?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is, hello, my new friend. I hope so much this finds you well. I just wanted to reach out to let you know how honored I am that you've trusted me enough to invite me into your mailbox and your life. What do you want these letters to, you call them friends, my friend, my dear friend. What do you want these letters to let people know?
Especially women who are grieving, there's a big difference between a single woman and a woman alone. A single woman kind of connotates they're ready to get back in life, they're ready to date, they're ready to do all those things again, but a woman alone is normally not by choice. And it's usually brought on by a heavy grief. So Letters from Elizabeth brings a letter to their mailbox. They don't have to go out anywhere. They don't have to go out and meet anyone. They don't have to do all those things. But it brings a little bit of hope. It brings a little bit of, I can relate because Elizabeth has gone through those traumas and there's someone that they can relate to. It also brings them a little bit of joy because we don't want every letter to be, you know, all about sorrow and things like that. So, but it just kind of brings a little comfort to them in their mailbox. All I have to do, I don't even have to get dressed.
I mean, you're checking the mail anyway, right? So it's not a big ask.
It's not a big ask to go
There's
get
not a lot
mail.
of pressure. Hey, go out and meet somebody. Hey, go out and do this. Go with this group or this club.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. And it's not just the, I mean, the letters are beautiful too, but there's a recipe sometimes or a special quote. I mean,
yeah, there's a special
you
quote.
go beyond just the letter.
Yeah, and there are things out through in the letter too. You know, things that we do during the day, our daily routine and things like that. And for Elizabeth, she talks about her daily routine. She has a dog named Hoyt, you know, and it's just, it brings some more humanness to it. And I'm getting something in the mail besides bills.
Right.
Yes.
And we don't get handwritten letters anymore.
I mean, you guys have essentially had to create Elizabeth,
we had to create Elizabeth
out of these really personal experiences for you and your friends, right?
Yes, yes.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah, so it was a lot of bleeding on paper.
Yeah.
So to speak,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of heartfelt stuff that went into these letters. Every letter brings with it a lot of emotion, and hopefully it brings some joy and some happiness to people when they go out to the mailbox.
Yes. Where can people learn more if they're interested in maybe subscribing or maybe getting this for someone that they know?
We're online. Our website address is lettersfromelizabeth.com.
Beautiful.
Very simple.
Sandra Morgan, thank you for sharing your vision with us, and we wish you guys the
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.